Hi friend, it is June 1st. Are you ready for a new month of quilting challenges? I'm Pat Sloan and this is my daily video, my dailies. And tonight is fireside chat day, which is on Monday evenings, and so it's a little bit longer video. And June is all about quilting your own quilt, so that's our theme for the whole calendar month. And if you don't have your calendar yet, there is a link below the video. You can go for anything I'm talking about. Today I've got all the links below the video and you can go download it. So we need to get it started because this video is one of the evening videos. I did put a post out a little earlier today that had a list of things to do, which is to get ready to quilt. So we're going to talk about that for Baste It Good. That is the theme. I will also catch you up on some of the other projects and open the Sew Sampler box, do a box opening towards the end. So that'll be fun because I haven't seen in it and I haven't seen the previews. So let's talk about our free motion quilting. So we need to have these panels done, or the, well, we need panels, but we also need the squares because these squares are what we can get warmed up on, what you can test things out on. And then you have your panels, which they will, let's see. Yeah, the panels are really what you're doing your main practice on. So I got mine basted. I'm going to talk about it in a minute. But if you have only bought one panel, then look around for something else you're going to do, because in the 30 days of September, whatever days, 30 days is June? Duh, is it? Yes. You are going to need more than one of these because we're going to free motion quilt every single day, at least a little bit. And you're going to whip through panels pretty quickly. Now the other thing I heard about from a few people, I know, you said, I don't want to mess up my panel. Okay. Buy another one that looks just like it. Buy 5 panels that are exactly the same so that you will, by the end, the 5th one you will love. You are not going to love the first one if it is the first one you've ever done in your whole life, free motion quilting. It is not going to be probably your very best work. So get yourself some more panels. And just the reason why we use a panel is because you put no work into it. If this still is bothering you, then then just use some fabric you don't like, like ugly fabric. But make some patchwork, make some squares or something. I mentioned this, I think, yesterday, because you need some format. Just having a big square like this, like bigger, will bore you to death. You'll get so bored, unless you really love whole cloth quilts. Then, hey, then you can go to town. Okay, so we need to clean the machine. I'm going to come back to that. I probably shouldn't just throw it all jumbled up, should I? There we go, a little neater. So we need to clean the machine because one of your enemies of free motion quilting is dust bunnies in there. They will mess up your tension. And so I want you, after you mess around on one of these squares, clean before you do that, quilt a little bit on this, and then open up your machine and look at how much lint it created, because batting creates a lot of lint. So you're going to need to keep that clean. And I want you to really focus on that because I don't want you to have messed up tension because it's lint. That's easy to prevent. Okay, you also need a new needle. And I also told you, let's see, that you could just put in whatever, so I keep some needles in there so I don't have to go dig them out. But just use the needle that you normally sew with. What you patchwork with, 70, 80, that. Don't use a big fat one like a 90, don't use, but 70, 80, your universal, because I want this to be simple. Everything we're doing here for the month of June is very simple. We're not going into anything fancy. What we're doing is getting you to the point where you are comfortable sitting down and moving fabric. That is the goal of June. If you are somebody that's sort of already at that spot and you're here to, either work on quilts and get them finished, or you want to work on your own sort of lessons, during the month, I will show you books and talk to you about designers that I feel have great books and great lessons that you might want to follow, so that you can find people who do free motion quilting as the main thing of their business. This is not the main thing of my business. This is a tool that I can get finished, you know, quilts finished. So I'm a basic free motion quilter, and that, I think, gives me great speed, maybe that's or satisfaction, maybe that's even a better word, because I know I can finish it and be happy with it. But if I want to have something extra special, then I have somebody else do it, because that's their artistry, and I'm not interested in spending that time on it. That doesn't excite me. That isn't the exciting part for me. But some of you, that might be. You might find out that you love all that creating of the design, the third layer of design that goes on top of your quilt. Okay, so for needles, I like the Schmetz needles, and there's a bunch of different, like the Microtex are a little bit sharper. They have here, they sent me some of these professional ones, and then there are also these super new ones that are really awesome. They're Teflon. Now look in your needles, because you may not even know what you have, and today would be a good day to look at them and see what you have. This is one of my containers of needle packets. So I have a lot of needles. The companies send them to me to try out, or I pick them up when I'm at the trade show. They give them to me. So I have, you know, bunches of needles to try. So it's nice to try something, you know, try with one type of needle and then try with another type of needle. That is what June is about. Trying, learning, moving forward, doing something extra, you know, tweaking it. We're going to just keep going through the whole thing. Now, I can't possibly give you everything all at once. So what our goal is to just start. We're going to start, and then as you do things, as you're doing it, then you'll be like, okay, I need to know this, or what about that? And those things we'll get answers for. I also, over on my Facebook, Quilt Along with Pat Sloan group, I have asked my really good friend Debbie Brown, who is a machine quilting expert, and that is what her business is, to teach machine quilting. And so I've asked her to join me and help answer questions if she wanted to do that, and she's thrilled to be invited. And so I am going to put a post up in the group so that we can have posts for Debbie that can go in there. And I'll give you the links, Debbie Brown Quilts, down below here, below the video, so that you can go over there and follow Debbie and get her, see her videos. And she has classes too, so if you want to go that way with full-blown classes, that's, you know, a whole online classes. So you can do an online class with her. Okay, let's talk about basting. I am, one of the things before I do the basting, if you want to do things sort of in sequence, if you want to see sort of the order in sequence and the thoughts in sequence, that's what the book's for, so that you can just sit here and go through it step by step. I, of course, am not going to be reading the book to you step by step, but I will reference different parts of it as we go along, so that if you want to go, you know, look a little bit more, like there are some videos for book authors, book owners, that I did some videos for Martingale that you'll have a link to in there. Okay, let's put this up here. I don't have tons of space when I'm on the machine side, so let me show you the basting, how I ended up. There we go. So my backing is a little bit bigger than my, well, quite a bit there, but I'm not going to go trim it. This is enough. I don't want tons. I mean, I don't want a big sheet out here, but this is close enough. So the batting, I always put the batting bigger than the top, batting, backing. And I like to have it in that sequence. Would never do this. I would never have everything cut right on the edge. That gives me no wiggle room. And I actually prefer to have this out here as well, as, you know, bigger than the batting. Because the batting is just too fiddly. I don't need to trim it. So I just sort of come up to the edge, and that works. So this was spray basted with this. That's what I spray basted. And what I did do is I did stitch in the ditch, which is basically like 1/8 of an inch from the seam. To secure the middle, I decided that I just wanted to show you what I do. I do this a lot, and I do it a lot for very large quilts, because when I have a very large quilt, I don't want things shifting, particularly if I've pin basted. I like to do that. When you're glue basting, everything is much tighter. So I did that inside rim. Now, as you'll notice, I did not stay stitch on this outside yet. So there is no long straight stitch out here that would be under the binding. And I also do that a lot. I probably wouldn't normally do it for this panel size, but so that you can get in the mode of doing all of this, why don't you stay stitch, which would be take your straight stitch but take it bigger, because that's going to lock this down. When you have a super big quilt, let me come back up here. I'm going to tell you why I stay stitch. There's two specific reasons why I do a straight stitch all around the outside of the quilt, so that, you know, so I'm basically locking the outside of the quilt. I do it for two reasons. One is if I have patchwork on the outside, the act of moving it and everything can pop the seams of the patchwork. If the seam is right out to the edge, that would be the one main reason. The second reason is because if I've got a big quilt and it hangs over and my batting is past my top, sometimes I've run over this and like pulled batting out of the middle of the quilt. Well, if I stay stitched, it doesn't pull as much. It just pulls from outside of the quilt, not from the middle. Like I've pulled a whole section out once, many years ago. So that's why I do that. So if you want to practice stay stitching and get into the mode, then just go all around the outer edge about 1/8 of an inch in. So not 1/4 of an inch. You think of it as going to hide underneath your binding. Now the other thing about doing that is if you're, let's just look down here while I'm talking. If your quilt top and batting and backing is not really flat and really tight, and you do these locking stitches, you might find that as you're quilting you get some sort of poof in here, like maybe it, you know, it wasn't real flat. Especially happens with pin basting. So you may in the beginning not want to do this. Out here you can pick it open if you need to like smooth it out, because all of a sudden your ripple has moved out and now you've got a bump out here of, you know, fabric. You can pick out a big basting stitch, you know, easily. But this is a permanent stitch. This is not decorative. I mean, this is, you know, quilting stitch. So I would not do that if you're pin basting. I would maybe try it without for a little bit and then try it with after you've sort of got used to everything. Okay, so that is where we are with this guy. Now I want to talk about how tomorrow you are going to start free motion quilting. Yes, you are. Yes, you are, my friends. You are going to do it. And you're going to do it every single day in June so that you get better. And this piece of paper and a pen are part of your necessary items. Because what you want to do is think a little bit about what you want to quilt. And you're going to draw it first. And we're going to keep it so amazingly simple, because one of the things, and I show you a bunch of different, I show you, you know, some different basic things, basic shapes. There we go. So I show you a bunch of different basic shapes in the book. But what I want you to do is think about building yourself a toolbox of basic shapes. These are like go-to shapes, so that you don't have to think too much about what it is that you're going to quilt. In order to get your brain moving, like when you're pushing the fabric like this, it's basically the same motion as drawing. It's just you're using two hands to do it. You're pushing, you know, the needle is like this, and you're basically pushing the fabric under it like that. Right? This is what you'd be doing. And the needle doesn't move, the machine doesn't move, but you're going to come in, let's say you wanted to do like this, and then let's say you wanted to echo it. You could do that. So you can actually simulate it with one hand and a pen, and it's kind of easy. You know, there you go. I'm sort of moving it around. You have to be sure you're not actually moving your hand. And let's say I want to do a ribbon, come back, and come back again. There you go. So if you want to try practicing like that, it's kind of fun. It's interesting because, of course, you're just using one hand to move this, but I'm on a surface here that it's moving very nice. I have it on a clipboard, which will let you, and there's a plastic clipboard, and I've got this, you know, this countertop for my koala studio is really nice and smooth, and this just moves like, you know, it's slick. It's like it's grease lightning. So it's super nice to just, and smooth just to do that. So if I want to, now I am right-handed, so I might have more control if I use my right hand and just hold the left hand up. But for me, it works either way. There we go. So I'm not moving the hand with the pen. The traditional way you'll see this done, and how I say it in my book, is to just draw like regular. So if I wanted to draw, here, let's come a little closer. I probably should have brought a big fat Sharpie. Next time I'll do that. So if I wanted to draw loops, this is the basic shape, and you're trying to get smooth. Loops, and you're going over and across one another. It doesn't really matter. Maybe you want to take some smaller ones inside, like this, and then you've got to have an exit plan and come out, and there I'm just basically making bubbles at this point. So that is the traditional way of sort of getting your hand to get used to doing all of this. But if you want to try the fun way of just holding the pen and then moving the pad under it, this is actually the motion that you're going to be doing on the machine. And I don't have quite as much control one-handed that way, but it still works. They still look pretty good. Now, there you go. Let me get this back up here so we can talk. So what you're going to do is have this paper, have it ready, and tomorrow, like if you are a person who can actually do this, well, I'm going to do a video tomorrow morning. We'll have our morning video, and I will, I'm not going to have a camera right down on the needle, but I am going to put this on, and I will quilt some loops on this, just showing you my body position and how I sit and the ergonomics of what I'm doing. So that'll be tomorrow morning. And then tomorrow you should have your panel, and you should be thinking, I'll probably talk a little bit tomorrow morning about the panel, how to look at the panel design. But you might just want to take your first panel and think about kind of doing an overall and not really worrying too much about the design of it, because that's just an added thing you have to figure out. If you already know how to do this, like if you already can do this on fabric, you know, like here, I actually have something stitched on this. You know, so if you're actually already stitching on fabric, fine. Then you can start looking at going around your panel and using that design to guide you. Okay. So let's see a few other things today. It is Bloomtopia Day. Today's the 1st, which means another part to the charity quilt. And there it is. That is the charity quilt. Mine with my Bonnie Lane fabric. It's all done. It's Cindy and Dennis Dickinson at my famous spa, the Pink Paw Spa. They quilted it. And so today the section that is given is right by Norm. So it's those super cute little stars, and I think they're called Tippy Canoe blocks, or a variation of Tippy Canoe blocks. But the stars are so cute because they're all scrappy. They have like really scrappy points, and I love that concept. I have never done that. We should make scrappy stars. Add that to our list. So besides that, there is the cross stitch, which I am keeping up on this because it is a lot easier. It's a lot less stuff. So the little bird was last month, and my little bird is done. Yay! And then this, like the next 2 weeks, I have to get that done. So I think I'm pretty confident I can get all that done. Now on my Stitch Mania, so I did not get very far. I still have the fence and the rows to do, and of course finish the house, but I will. I'm now giving myself a goal to finish it, I don't know, by the end of August. I think that's a good goal. So it can be, then it can make it into a pillow. So that's what I intend to do with it. But I will keep you updated on my progress. It just turns out that I need to practice stitching every day on that a bit more. Either that or I have to give up the videos. I don't know. I think I'd rather do the videos. I don't have to give them up. Okay. What else do we got? I want to be sure if you want to do the sampler from the Jolly Bar book, that you order your Jolly Bar book. We start the last Thursday, I think, of June, which is like, what, like the 24th or something like that. And so you if you're ordering the next few days, you know, the book will probably come. And you need a Jolly Bar. I still have my set to make a quilt from there. This will get done. I might actually use it to free motion quilt. Who knows? Who knows for this month if I can get it done. The other thing that we're going to do in July is the cute little table runner, the morning coffee. Yes. So if you want to do this, you need to order it. This pattern, this coffee mug pattern only comes in the kit. That's the way Riley Blake set it up. So I am going to switch out a couple of those coffee mugs, I think, for a little patchwork block. I don't know what it'll be, but I'm probably going to take at least 3 of the mugs and make them patchwork blocks. I think that would be super cute. And I need to make mine a little less wide and a little longer for my coffee table. So I'm going to show you how to do a little bit of adjustments on that. So that is something coming up in July. We're going to make this in July. Yeah, so that'll be super, super, super fun. Lots of supers. Okay, let's see what's in. Got my little rolling assistants here helping me out. I love these carts. Okay, here's my Olfa cutter. I like these Olfa cutters. All right, the Sew Sampler box. This is what they look like. It's a subscription service, and I always open mine on the show, on the Monday night show, after everybody should have gotten theirs. So if you don't have a subscription to it, they do open them up every so often, you know, so you can go ahead and apply, you know, to get notified when an opening comes up, because they only make so many. They only make so many of the boxes. But most of the things that are in the box, you can still get. And I like that because then we can all see what's in there. We can, you know, you can see new things. You know, that's what I like, is we get to see new products. Always got to see what's new out there. Alrighty. Each box has a theme. I love themes. Themes, I could live off themes alone. Totally love themes. So Buds and Blooms, and they always give you a discount. So this month your discount is on charm packs if you have a subscription. So that's always a cool thing because they give you a discount. So it's a super value. Okay, they always give you a little booklet that tells you everything that's in here. Of course, I don't read the booklet till afterwards. Is anybody else like that? You're like, oh yeah, booklet, put it aside. Let's see what's in here. Look at this. I did not know we were getting these. Look, Magic Touch quilting gloves. This is perfect for our month. Wow. One size fits most. Looks like it'll fit me fine. Okay, so these gloves, looks got like the little rubber, there you can see them, look, little rubber tips on them. I learned to, okay, let's chat. Let's chat gloves, because this is perfect for our free motion quilting month, or even the walking foot quilting. A lot of people like gloves, and that's because our hands can be dry, and when you're trying to do something new, you feel like your hands can't, you know, like slip around on the fabric or just slide off the fabric. I, of course, started free motion quilting a long time ago. And there were very, very few tools, and people just didn't really have a concept of using gloves at all. But you could use a pair of gardening gloves. They're just going to be a little bulkier. These kind, there's different manufacturers that have these out here. But let's open them up, because these kind are fitted. And so that makes it easier. I don't like bulky things on my hands. Okay. They're in the package, so. All right, so we're just gonna put one on because that's what we do. We gotta try it out. Gotta clip the little thingy like you were in a store. Okay, so here's the glove, and you can see that, and they're very thin. They're a knit, you know, sort of knit. They're a knit fabric, and then they kind of come on there really nice. There we go. Ah, you know what's so cool is they're double-sided. I'm not sure why, but it is. Like if you only want to wear one gloves, you know, you could wear it on either hand. Like the little knobs are on both sides. Well, that's interesting. I'm going to have to write and ask them why they did that. I never saw that before. It's cool. So they're very stretchy. So if you, got to get hold of it there. But see, they stretch. And they got longer fingers than mine can go in there. All right, so those are fabulous. I didn't know they were in there. Couldn't have planned that better, huh? Then what do we get? We got Bloomington by Leela Batik. This is, oh, is this a Jolly Bar? There's the fabric. So pretty. Look at this stripe. Look at the stripe. I'll link you down to this so you can see it. It's got like a chocolate, oh, isn't that pretty? The chocolate color. It's like a charcoal, I'm sorry. It's like a charcoal gray and white. That is gorgeous. I think that's a layer cake in there. Yes. Yes, it's a small layer cake. So it's like half a layer cake. So it's 20 pieces in here. Ah, beautiful thread. RFL, my favorite, absolute. And we got some scissors. Oh my goodness. Sweet Snips fabric scissors. They are aqua. They are so pretty. Oh my goodness. Okay, so those look like they have pretty nice handholds on them. So I will have to try those out. And then you get a pattern for just for the subscription box. They always give you a pattern to use the fabric that they send. So they send you fabric and a pattern, and then you usually buy a solid to go, like you would buy the white or use white that you already have and use with it. So it's always such a fabulous deal. Then they do a sew along so that you can do a block from their sew along, which comes out. Let's see, there is the block this month. And if you want to do the sew along, you can. Okay, cool beans. That is nifty. I like it. I like it. All right, I had one other thing that I had gotten in that I want to show you before we, well, actually there are two. This came in last, and I just never got a chance to show you it, which is the packet. They do seasonals, like monthly. Like I am September, I think, is my month, and then I'll do a project with it. So this was for April, and somehow I never showed you April. So April they had gray fabric, and I'll have to look to see if it's still available. But I love these because you get a whole, you know, let me just look real quick, as you can see. So you get all of these great different shades of the color and different textures on them. So here, I like this. Then we got some with words, great prints, dots, and the angled stripes. Some more, oh, that's pretty cool. Look at that. I like that. Other dots, tic-tac-toe, flowers, little ditzy print, little paisley. Some more words. What do those say? You can read them. I can't. Pea, grow up, love, turnip. So it looks like it was from a gardening. Oh, they're probably whatever this is from with the little planters. And then they give you a guide so that you can actually, if you like one of them and decide, you know, oh, you know, you really want more of this stripe because you want to do some bindings, you want that for a border, you know, so that you can order it. And then you can see this quilt that they're doing. So each month, if you wanted to make a block, you could have like this sampler, nice sampler quilt of colors, but all of the block is the same. Yes, cool. Okay, the other thing I got is really neat. I just, the camera was up close. Sorry about that. That's, right in the middle. So I saw this and just had to order it. It is, do you ever, do you do the threaders, like the cutters, like the clover cutters, there's different brands. Well, this is by Bowen. And this one has, there's the back. Whoops, sorry. There's the front. It has a kitty, where's it got? The kitty at the beach. So this has, it's a thread cutter. There's the words I wanted. Whoops. And it's nice, got nice and heavy, and you can actually, there, I'll see if you can see it in the middle. See between the slots? There you can see it. That's the razor between the slots, so that you can just take your thread and cut it like that. So this would be cool, like you could wear it if you were traveling and you didn't want to have your scissors out. You could cut the threads with this, and you could just wear it as a necklace. Or just sitting in another room, like you just don't want to haul all your stuff with you. That's really nice. So it came on this strap, which actually, there it goes. It is a necklace strap. So I could put it on and then and I could wear it. I like that. They had a couple of styles, so I'll link you up just to that page of them, of the Bowen. They have really, really nice products. So I've used, they have a lot of needles, so if those you might use their needles, you might be familiar with that. Okay, today the goodie bag is an extension from last week. So if you did not enter last week, you need to do that. And where did I put it? Oh, it's over here. It's a great fun one. I have got a whole bunch of Christmas fabrics. There's a picture over at my website when you go, link below. And then my Bonnie Lane, just a swatch set. It's not a charm pack, it's 5-inch squares, but it's a swatch set. And some Aurifil thread is in there. So that is for you to enter at my website. Okay, friends. This is day 1 of June. I am so excited for you to be quilting every single day. Now here we go. You have to do this. You have to like pinky swear, okay? Pinky swear with me. Here we go. That you will quilt every day. Free motion quilt or walking foot quilt if you're doing that every day. I will do a segment probably next week, like maybe 2 days or 3 days on walking foot, and then I'll do it again later in the month, so that for those of you, who want to try both or are more focused on that, I'll talk about that. Yay! Thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting all that we do, my small family business, our little tiny business. We really love you so much. I love you, Greg loves you, and we are thankful for you. If you want to join my Facebook group, Quilt Along with Pat Sloan, and I will see you there. I love you. Mwah, mwah. Bye-bye.